This title isn't clickbait or any sort of lie. These manga really did cure my homophobia. Also, they're just straight out amazing. I've read over 300 manga while only rating 32 9 out of 10 and 16 10 out of 10. These three are 10, 10, and 9. I'm incredibly grateful to these manga that impacted me so profoundly that they changed my worldview. The goal of this video is to share these masterpieces with others and maybe, just maybe, get someone who thinks like I used to read these. Though I can't properly convey how impactful these stories are or give a true recommendation without also sharing how they changed me. With that said, let's go to where it all started, 2016. This is the year that I started reading a little series titled My Brother's Husband. Well, I say little because that's what I thought back then. Before the official translation, it was done by one passionate guy who only got to 21 out of the 28 chapters. While researching, I learned that this series has won multiple awards, is highly rated basically everywhere, and even has a live-action adaptation. Though to me, it was just a random manga that I picked up out of curiosity. It was perfect for someone like me, someone homophobic. Okay, I can't go any longer without explaining why I define my past self like that. Homophobia is defined by Merriam-Webster as a rational fear of, aversion to, or discrimination against homosexuality or gay people. I grew up in an American hood, a place where aversion to and discrimination against gay people was the norm. Just look at this footage from the most popular animated show in that community. When a main character is told that a rapper is gay, he responds with this.
Gangstalicious ain't gay. You can't just go throwing that gay thing around, Huey. That's a serious accusation.
You the one who said he kissed another man.
What I had said was them dudes knocked me upside my head and I dreamed he kissed another man.
How often do you have dreams about men kissing?
Shut up.
I never dream about my heroes kissing other men.
Man, stop. This whole conversation is making me uncomfortable.
I dreamt about Muhammad Ali just last night, but he was fighting Joe Frazier, not kissing him.
Gay ass nigga. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, I ain't listening to you.
This was the vast majority of the hood's mindset back then, belittling homosexuality and trying to keep it as far away from you as possible. Despite this, when asked, most people would respond with something like,
I mean, I ain't homophobic, but you know, gay men give me the heebie-jeebies.
This aversion was seen as normal and was what I was watching when I was only 6 years old. Me and my friends talked like this.
You gay. Y'all niggas are gay. Nigga, you gay. That's gay.
I was also an Xbox Modern Warfare kid who grew up in lobbies like this.
Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
Oh, I'm a pussy. You fucking
pussy! Pussy!
That's right! Yum, 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 I eat dick all day! Yum, 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 I eat dick!
You wanna fight dick? You eat dick? What a fucking homo!
Exactly.
You eat dick! You eat dick!
It would simply be impossible to not be homophobic growing up in that environment. With that in mind, let's go back to 2016, where a 13-year-old me randomly finds this manga and starts reading.
Both your parents?
Yeah, the bus flipped over on the highway and...
That's just horrible.
Ryu couldn't stop crying. I was sad. And there's Yaichi, being the tough older brother, so stoic. Hasn't shed a single tear.
I haven't dreamt about them in so long. Not you though. I always dream about you, Natsuki. Go wash your face. Breakfast is getting cold. Drink your milk.
Dad, where's the jam?
Don't put on so much. That's too much jam.
Dad, hurry up. I'll be late.
Okay, I'm almost done. Stop wiggling. Alright, you're ready.
Really? Let me see a mirror.
Come on, we don't have time for that.
Aw.
Don't worry, you look pretty.
Alright, I'm off.
Wait, Kana.
What, Dad?
It's nothing. Just watch out for cars. I know why I joked about them. It's because today is the day. Thanks for coming.
Huh? Why you... What the fuck? Let go, you homo!
I'm sorry, but could you not?
Oh my god, sorry. I'm sorry. You just looked so much like Ryuji.
I guess it's fine. Anyway, welcome. Come on in. So, I'm sorry. You first.
No, please. You first, brother.
Could you not call me that?
I'm sorry, Yaichi-san.
So...
I'm home!
The daughter arrives home from school. Through the following conversation and her questions, we're given context. This is Yaichi and his daughter Kana. He is
Mike Flanagan,
the husband of Yaichi's brother. He moved to Canada 10 years ago and pretty much cut contact. 1 month ago, he died, which made Mike decide to visit Japan. As you can see from this first interaction, Yaichi is homophobic. This is made abundantly clear by his thoughts from the hug, and from his opinions on gay marriage.
What?
Yes.
Daddy has a brother? Men can marry each other. Is that even allowed?
Yes,
No,
we can.
They can't.
So, which is it?
Well, it's like, in Japan it's not allowed, but I guess it's possible in other parts of the world.
Huh? That's weird.
I know. Men marrying each other is weird.
It's weird that it's okay over there, but not here.
Despite this, we can also see that he's not a bad man. He seems like a good father, and he's always more than respectful to Mike despite his obvious aversion. He even makes sure his daughter does the same by telling her not to be rude and not making any sort of insinuation that it's bad to be gay. He even agrees with his daughter that it's weird that Japan doesn't allow gay marriage. He thinks bad things, but he doesn't act on them. You might not see it, but this first chapter shows the general pattern of the series. However, the third shows it at its simplest. This is Mike's first morning in Japan, where he'll be staying at Yaichi's house. He wakes up and Yaichi greets him with promises of breakfast and laundry. They make casual, enjoyable conversation until the topic of Ryuji, Yaichi's brother, is brought up. At this exact moment, Yaichi is immediately distant, completely wrapped up in the memories he shared with his brother. Even upon leaving them, his mind is still far away. Thoughts of his far overshadow the casual conversation he shares with Mike, until it's too much for him, and he has to cast them aside. He then takes Mike out to get a map of the area, and they part ways. Yaichi continues on with his work, thinking nothing of his interaction with Mike, until Kana asks more questions. She repeatedly asks about Mike, which leaves a sour taste in Yaichi's mouth. He questions why she likes him so much, and her response truly impacts him.
Come on, Dad, where did Mike go? Come on, tell me!
Oh my god, Mike. Are you really that interested in Mike?
Yeah, I am.
Why do you like him so much?
Why? Because he's gaijin. I mean, because he's Canadian.
You like him because he's a foreigner?
Yeah, Canada. It sounds like Kana. It sounds like me.
That's silly. Do you even know where Canada is, Kana?
In America? Also, he's giant. He's hairy like Santa Claus. Also, he's my uncle. The fact that I have a Canadian uncle is so cool. It's so fun.
I guess maybe that's the way I should think about it too.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It is cool, isn't it?
You don't think so?
Well, is it cool?
What? How could you say that, Dad?
Okay. It's really cool. It really is. He came all the way out here. I just hope he thinks it's cool too. Sorry for dragging that section, but I had to put that out there to show you the merit of this series and its general pattern. It starts with Yachi interacting with someone, typically Kana or Mike, until thoughts of his deceased brother or merely thoughts on the concept of homosexuality send him into deep thought. This cycle is completed by him interacting with someone from a different perspective, which leads to self-reflection that ultimately solidifies into a change of beliefs. Does that pattern sound familiar at all? Well, it does to me, because it's the exact same way that the 3 manga changed my beliefs. The only difference is replacing the someone with a manga and honing in on the homosexuality part. I looked it up, and this Time article, backed with scientific evidence, calls a very similar pattern the way to change someone's mind. That is the strength of this series, changing your perspective while being entertaining without you even knowing that it's happening. Yachi is just like I was, and like anyone with mild homophobia is. They don't hate gay people, they just have a strong aversion. The perspective of Yachi as a main character makes it nearly impossible to not think deeply on the subject. Since Mike enters the picture, Yachi is constantly confronted with the very real love that Mike had for his brother. The shared grief they both feel forces Yachi to sympathize with Mike. My favorite example of this is when Mike comes home from drinking with a friend. Is that you, Mike? Oh no, you are kaput. Come on, stand up. Let's get you on your futon. Jeez, you're heavy. Look, I'll set up your futon for you.
Ryuji!
Wait! Hey!
Ryuji! Ryuji!
Mike, you idiot! It's not Ryuji! I'm Yachi!
Ryuji.
Come on, Mike. Let go. I'm gonna hit you.
Ryuji. Why'd you have to die? You promised me. And after all that, and I finally made it to Japan. Why aren't you here with me?
Losing someone you love, it's hard. I know. I'll stay here till you're okay. Mike? Look at that. You're already asleep. When our parents died, I wasn't able to cry. Not one bit. I don't know if I was just in shock, but I didn't. Not at the funeral, not at the cremation. But Ryuji, he couldn't stop crying. At the time, I thought he was such a wuss, but I was jealous. Hearing of his death in Canada, I still don't believe it. Until tonight, I hadn't shed a tear. This is what makes the manga work. Every character is just a human being trying to figure things out. Everything feels so real. The way Mike slowly becomes family, the innocent questions from Kana, and the harsh reactions of others to this publicly gay man all force Yachi to deeply analyze his own beliefs. As a main character who I heavily related to, his thoughts forced me to think as well and ultimately gave me a better opinion on homosexuality. But sadly, one story wasn't enough to completely uproot a lifetime of belief. Like Yaichi, I tried to understand. I tried to change my mindset and be fair to people who just wanted to be themselves. Yet, like Yaichi, my first attempt wasn't successful. While it's true that my brother's husband didn't completely rid me of my aversion, it did reduce it significantly because it gave a young me the factual knowledge that gay people are normal humans. Humans who grieve, smile, and eventually die like everyone else. The best I could do is continue to be open to understanding. I eventually went on to read another manga that reinforced the beliefs that this one taught me, but it wasn't until I read the one after that that I had a complete shift in belief. It wasn't until 2019 when I read... Sorry, I can't leave this section without mentioning that I only talked about half of the story. MBH also deals with subjects like divorce, love, and especially grief, with the same maturity and care as it handles homosexuality. Legitimately 10 out of 10. Please read My Brother's Husband. It wasn't until 2019 when I read Our Dreams at Dusk. This story fundamentally changed my view on not only homosexuality, but LGBTQ+ as a whole. It took my narrow perspective and expanded it beyond belief. You'll soon understand why, but this isn't a story I can summarize like I did with MBH. I'll start by reading the official synopsis. At the peak of a steep hill in the picturesque Anomichi town stands a building with a lounge open to all. An unusual group of friendly people gathers there, each with their own stories to tell. Tasuku Kaname is a troubled high school student who is prepared to commit suicide because his classmates found out that he might be gay. As he questions his existence, the sight of a mysterious woman jumping off of a nearby building leaves him utterly startled. He rushes to the scene only to discover her unharmed, soon learning that she is the owner of the aforementioned building, known to everyone as Someone. Someone notices Tasuku's nervous temperament and offers him an ear if he's willing to share his problems. While speaking to her, he realizes that the most painful thing is his inability to accept his sexuality. Emotional and heartfelt, Shiminami Tasogari is a realistic take on the struggles of Tasuku among other lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in coming to terms with themselves. That's the general story. It mostly follows Tasuku's life starting from the day before summer break. He spends most of his time divided between visiting the lounge, club practice, and remodeling abandoned buildings with the loungegoers. Eventually, he goes back to school, and that becomes a major part of his life too. The reason that Dusk changed my view where MBH couldn't is because they're completely different. First is the focus of the story. MBH focuses like a sniper rifle that precisely aims at, carefully observes, and then fires at the topic it wants to tackle. For example, the first chapter and its focus on grief. Keep in mind that a new reader wouldn't know of Ryuji's death. The first page is a dream of Yaichi at his parents' funeral. The next is his processing it before immediately trying to distract himself with daily life, which only lasts for a few pages, until he impulsively warns his daughter of the very thing that killed his parents. Afterwards, we can see him deep in thought, presumably for hours, until Mike arrives. Despite his homophobia, he is nothing but kind and polite to Mike, unless his brother is brought up. Without fail, he treats Mike well, but every time Ryuji's talked about, Yaichi gets angry, awkward, or just lost in thought. And then, at the last 2 pages, we're twins.
Twins? I had no idea. Where is he now?
He's in heaven.
He means he died last month. Our Time at Dusk is not like that. Not at all. It's more similar to a shotgun that aims at multiple topics and fires recklessly. As Tasuku interacts with the others of the lounge, he is repeatedly bombarded with the reality of their lives. He interacts with gays, transgenders, asexuals, and even people with no definitions at all. This is at the same time that he's trying to understand himself. The story's focus bounces from one identity to the next, often tackling multiple at the same time. We see the ups and the downs of each situation in precise detail, as well as the passionate ways that these characters deal with them. That brings me to the lens that these stories are focused through. The story of MBH is mostly told through the eyes of Yaichi. He's a straight adult man with his life and identity already in order. As a result, we see the world through a subdued, mature perspective. Everything feels quiet and thoughtful. While that does have its own benefits, it only allows us to see the struggles that can come from being gay with an outside view. Once again, Dusk is the opposite in every sense. Tasuku is a gay teen who is completely overwhelmed, which is fair. He was jokingly outed and made fun of in the first page. He's just a hormonal kid who's trying to understand and accept his own identity, as well as the identities of his new companions. These more experienced people give him both support and viewpoints that he never thought he would have. All of this together brings out so many emotions that overpower everything. Our perspective as the reader reflects this. Emotions pour onto the page, completely destroying the restrictions of the paneling. When Tasuku feels like his life is falling apart, the roof literally crumbles onto him. When he feels rage towards this world that doesn't accept him, the surroundings fade into a black void, filled with only his tears. Upon his listener leaving him, it loses even that, turning pure white. My favorite example of this is when he feels envy towards a lesbian couple. This feeling makes him reflect on his own desires and shame for having them. The feeling of reading that scene is beautifully captured in this animation. Tasuku's life is filled with powerful moments like this. At times, he feels small and hopeless. At others, he feels that the world is big and beautiful. Emotions reign supreme in this story, not just for him. Others often distort the pages in the same way, and what's amazing is how it blurs the line between reality and fiction. Frequently, those not actually feeling the emotions will react to the imagery on display as if it were real. This is seen most in Someone. Honestly, I don't even understand the emotion portrayed here, but often they appear to be jumping off of ledges, and everyone reacts with absolute terror. This emotionally forward perspective is what makes this manga work. Yes, these characters talk about their perspectives logically, and that definitely helped me understand LGBTQ+ people more, but it's in the powerful ways that their emotions are put on display that gave me enough clarity, or maybe compassion? I'm honestly not sure, but it gave me enough something that I can now truly say how I view this marginalized group of people as equals. Also, the art is so good. It might look nice now, but in context, being hit with a panel like this is mesmerizing. The last thing I'll say about it is that, like MBH, I left out so much. Despite both of these stories having relatively few chapters, they pack so much within. Dusk especially feels at least 15 chapters longer than it is. 10 out of 10. Read this, please. The last manga I'll be talking about is not as deep or impactful as either of the previous. I only rated it 9 out of 10 based on the quality that it does exactly what it's trying to do. Despite that, this series delivers something that the others barely touched on. Let's go forward to 2022, when I started reading I Think Our Son Is Gay. This manga is a story about the Aoyama family. There's the dad Akiyoshi, who's usually abroad for work, the middle schooler son Yuri, the mother Tomoko, and the high schooler son Hiroki. What we typically follow is the life of Hiroki, who is gay but trying to hide it. Seems simple and similar to Dusk, right? Well, it is simple, but it's barely similar. Here, look at this.
Hey Mom, how come you put corn in our curry?
Huh?
When I tell people, they'll say curry doesn't usually have any. And I've never seen curry with corn anywhere else.
Let's see. It might be because my mom made it this way.
For real? That's it?
Mm-hmm. If you don't like it, should I leave it out from now on?
Huh? No, that's not what I meant. More, please.
You like it better with corn, don't you? To each their own, I say. Every mom has their own unique touch when it comes to food. You'll find yourself craving this curry in the future. Help me make it now and then, so you can memorize this recipe while you have the chance.
Man? But don't you just throw in corn? It's okay. If I want to eat it when I'm older, I'll just find a boyfriend who's great at cooking and get him to make it for me. Girlfriend! I totally meant girlfriend. Funny, I keep saying the wrong word.
Our son often slips up and says boyfriend instead of girlfriend. He always gets flustered like this when he does.
Thanks for the grub.
Honestly, he's so bad at lying. I think our son is probably gay. He's really cute and sincere to boot.
Can you really call that similar to Dusk? No. This is a wholesome slice of life. Like Dusk, it does follow a young gay teen living his life with an emphasis on his journey in dealing with his sexuality, but its tone is completely different. Despite Hiroki going through real challenges, it's never that sad. The entire manga feels hopeful and optimistic, probably because of the main character. Yeah, there's two. Tomoko is just as much of a main character, if not more so than Hiroki. The story may be mostly about him, but we never see his thoughts. The majority of the manga is seen and narrated through Tomoko. It feels like a diary she's writing that's mostly about her son. His life plays out and we see her thoughts on it. That's not to say that it only focuses on him. There are often chapters just about her. Sometimes chapters about Yuri, and very rarely some about Akiyoshi. But primarily the story is about Tomoko's observation of Hiroki. Just like the other manga, this viewpoint and narrator heavily influence the tone. During every challenge Hiroki faces, whether it be him feeling weird for not liking girls or getting upset by his father calling gay guys kissing gross, she's always there to tactfully support him. His brother, who also knows his secret, does the same. By the way, they don't let him know that they know, which might be a little controversial, but they're just doing it so he can tell them when he's ready. They do hint at it though. Seeing Hiroki's life and Tomoko's thoughts on it is just so heartwarming. She very clearly loves her son. The chapters are just filled with her thinking deeply on how to support him, how to make her husband accept him, and just generally her loving her son. This manga might seem boring if you don't like slice of life, and you know what? That's totally fair. The manga isn't some incredibly deep story with amazing art, but why does it have to be? There are tons of simple cute stories with lovable characters, yet I have never seen one with a gay protagonist. I'm glad this manga exists. It has 104 chapters, but each one is only around 4 to 12 pages. I started reading this in 2022 and it just finished on March 11th, 2024. Keeping up with it casually over 2 years made me feel kinda like Tomoko. You get to see this family develop and mature in real time through her eyes. After years of seeing so many instances of her defending homosexuality or any type of person that's different, it really encouraged me to do the same. Now, instead of just internally disagreeing when I see someone being homophobic, I'll say something. These 3 manga truly changed who I am. I went from someone like this to someone like this. That might not seem like a lot to you, but when I compare my current self to my past self, I feel proud. Words cannot describe how grateful I am to these manga for teaching me how to be a better person. Also, they were just really fun to read. I hope at least one of you reads at least one of these. And hey, this is important. If you know anyone homophobic who might even have a chance at reading one, recommend My Brother's Husband or Our Dreams at Dusk. It could seriously change their beliefs. That's all. Thanks for watching, sub for more, and peace.